The United states with a higher minimum wage have gained more jobs in recent months. We've made very simple, basic economic arguments for why a reasonably higher minimum wage is good for the middle class. It is a positive thing for the economy. It stimulates demand given the marginal propensity to consume of those who are on the lower end of the income spectrum versus the higher end. We've talked about the positive effect it has on crime reduction to have a slightly higher minimum wage. We've already spoken about San Francisco, which was leading the way on a higher minimum wage and didn't suffer from negative economic repercussions. We've talked about all of that, but now we have more data, and more data, at least for some people, is a good thing. According to a new report by the as reported by the Associated Press, a study by the Labor Department says that states that enacted higher minimum wages at the beginning of 2014 have already seen the number of jobs available to citizens increase at a higher rate than in the states that did not enact higher minimum wage laws. There are 13 U.S. states that raised their minimum wages at the beginning of this year, and they have added jobs at a faster rate than those states that did not. The 13 states that increased minimum wages have seen jobs grow an average of 0.85% from January through June, whereas the other 37 states saw a 0.61% rise in jobs. This is equivalent to about 33% larger job increases in the states with minimum wage increases compared to those without. Significant, Lewis?
Incredibly significant. And, you could talk all day about how this works economically, but think about it from an individual point of view. If you're looking for a job that is decent paying, you're avoiding a lot of jobs that would be, available to you. And all of a sudden, with this higher minimum wage, you might think to yourself, well, okay, I can go work at one of these places now because they'll pay me what I want to be paid.
So counter arguments. Let's go through the counter arguments. Number one, 6 months of data is simply not enough to make any broad statements. That's fair. Okay, let's kind of hold that in our minds. Number two, is this causation or is it correlation? In other words, is it the minimum wage increase that has caused faster job creation, or is it simply a correlation that is not a causal relationship, maybe related to something else? That is also maybe true. So let's step back. While maybe this is not enough data to say that increasing minimum wages to a kind of very moderate degree creates jobs at a faster rate, we can say that the nightmare scenarios from the right, from the voodoo economic supporters, that any increase to the minimum wage kills jobs, those arguments clearly are not true. And sometimes just being able to disprove an argument is more effective than proving another argument.
Right. Jobs has not been killed. And also, it still does not cost $20 for a Big Mac.
Yeah, absolutely right. Let's take a break. We have a great program for you today. I will talk about my trip to Detroit a little bit later on in the program. Glad you're with us on this Monday.